Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, make videos for NFL. All these videos, they get posted on this subreddit right here. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. Really important to see this because stuff does change from these videos. This is just a first look. It's very important. It's a first look video, right? So you can ask me questions about the slate, all that good jazz. People talk strategy here. It's a really great place to be. And I did get a question about because other content creators will like build a lineup in their video, and let me explain why I don't do that. First off, it's against Draftkings terms of service. I am not legally allowed to do that. I don't know if it's against the law. I'm sorry, not legally, but per DraftKings terms of service, I am not allowed to do that. People that do that and build lineups in these videos are breaking DraftKings terms of service. It is not allowed on the DraftKings site. And also another big reason on why I would not do this is because if I build a lineup here and people play it the next day, the slate is going to change. It's going to entirely change, and the stuff that I build now is by tomorrow not going to be viable at all. So like, if you watch other content out there and people are building lineups hours before a slate or the day before a slate, do not play that lineup. Please do not play that lineup. It hurts everyone. Just do not do it. But I thought I'd address that. I did get a question about that. But yeah, if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter right here. And then, yeah, let's get into my lineup from tonight. Look at this. Um, okay, so I originally had DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and God, who is the last one? DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, and Austin Reeves here. I was playing for the Lakers to get ruled out, and I'm just stone dead. Stone dead. It's like I thought DeMar was going to be chalk. Turns out Kobe White is higher owned than DeMar DeRozan. So I swapped off Austin Reeves to Draymond Green and Kobe White to get to a potentially lower owned Kobe White. And yeah, Kobe came in more popular. So I don't think it's going to matter anyway. I'm stone dead. What's the cash line? Like, this is like the lowest scoring night I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, 223. Just crazy stuff tonight. You guys know I don't tilt anymore. I find it unbearable, but I got to get some tilt again. Just what? Okay, so here's my take on the slate. First, my core today was Patrick Beverley, bust. Joel Embiid, bust. Colin Sexton, bust. That was my core today. I show you guys my results every single night. It's not sunshine and rainbows. It's just not. It's not. But my take today was I wanted to be underweight on Utah. Utah was projecting to be the highest owned play team by far. Chris Dunn, chalk. Kelly Olynyk, chalk. Simone Fontecchio, chalk. Lauri Markkanen, chalk. Colin Sexton, chalk. Walker Kessler, chalk. Literally, their nine bodies that they run were all popular. So I wanted to be underweight on the value. I was good with Markkanen. I thought Markkanen was a really good play. I thought Sexton was a really good play. I thought Clarkson was a really good play. But I wanted to be underweight to the value and play for that Lakers value, like a Rui Hashimura. I wanted to play Patrick Williams over that value. And it worked out. It worked out. As you can see here, Chris, and of course, Reeves is just absolutely nuking the slate. Okay. Alrighty. Time to just close DraftKings. Alrighty. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But as you can see here, one of the worst plays on the slate, and Chris Dunn just absolutely busted. I was high on John Collins too. I thought he was going to be higher owned than this, but I was high on him. He came in low and he smashed. Simone did fine. Like I said, Chris Dunn busted. Walker Kessler busted. What else? The only Jazz value that did good was John Collins and Simone. And yeah, and Jordan Clarkson did fine. And Sexton just played like 16 minutes tonight. Don't understand that. So just Nick Nurse just not bringing the starters back in a 14-point game with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth. Amazing. All right, let's get into the slate. So if you're looking for more in-depth content where I give you guys cores, private videos, all the good stuff, I'll have my Discord link down below. But let's get into this slate. So it's all going to depend on Kyrie Irving for me here. Now, if Kyrie's in, I still like Luka quite a bit for tournaments. I mean, looking at the spend-ups on the slate, I think Luka, even with Kyrie in, is really, really good. Good spot going up against Atlanta. Pace-up spot as well. Atlanta plays pretty fast. They don't play a ton of defense. Like, yeah, I like Luka a ton regardless if Kyrie plays or if he does not. Now, definitely a downgrade with Kyrie Irving in. Also, with Kyrie Irving out, Luka plays like 42 minutes a game, so he'll take a little bit of a minutes hit as well. But I still think he looks like one of the best spend ups on the slate if Kyrie's in or out. And then if he's in, like Kyrie's fine, I'm not going to go to anyone else. I'm not going to play any of this value. I think it's like Derek Jones Jr. is fine with Kyrie in. I'm definitely okay with that at that price point. Actually, like Josh Green's playable, but no standouts there. Now, if Kyrie's out, that changes a lot. Then I'm plugging Luka into my lineup. I am playing him. The faders will be punished. He'll play 42 minutes a game. He'll have one of the highest usage rates in the league. He'll stuff the stat sheet, probably get you close to a triple-double. He would look amazing in a really, really good spot going up against Atlanta. Tim Hardaway Jr. came off the bench last game, but still played 34 minutes. He would have a pretty high ceiling. He'd be a solid play. Then, we'll keep an eye on the starting lineup. Exum came off the bench. He was limited in his first game back, but we'll see there. If we get news that he's like not on the limit and he's starting and playing his full minutes, then yeah, we can consider Exum. Lively, playing mid-20s minutes, just there for me, it's fine. Now the price is down. And then, sure, we can consider Derek Jones Jr., Josh Green. Both these guys would be solid values at their price points. I'm not going to play Hardy. I'm just not going to do it. And, I guess, Grant Williams would be in play too. He got ejected last game, so that's why he didn't really play much. And, yeah. Is this new? Okay, I thought it was questionable. I was going to say, if Kleba's out, I actually like Lively a lot, because Kleba's taking minutes away from Lively, but, yeah, with Kleba probable. Just a fine play. All right, moving on to Atlanta here. Once again, it all just comes down to Trae Young. If Trae Young's in, there's no priorities here. I think a 9.4K Trae Young is too cheap. So, we know, Luka Trae games are always pretty good, to be honest. But, yeah, he would be too cheap at 9.4K. I think he'd be a good spin up here. Also, probably get you close to a double-double or a double-double and play huge minutes. DeJounte Murray would be overpriced at that point, and then, Jalen Johnson, would be priced right. Bog would be out of play for me at that price point. We'll also keep an eye on Clint Capella news. If he's out, Onyeka Okongwu would shoot up to the best value play on the slate. It wouldn't even be close. And you'll probably get Bruno Fernando back up 5 run. He will be firmly in play at the flat min price. If Bruno Fernando's out, you'll probably get some Jalen Johnson backup run. Be a bump to him, but if Trae's in, still be a bit priced right, and then I think that'd be it. Bay's still playable, but would prefer Trae to be out. Now, if we get a situation where Trae's out, then yeah, Atlanta's going to look good again. I'm still going to really, really like DeJounte Murray, even at this price point. I still think he'd be a bit too cheap. Jalen Johnson, like I said, if he gets back up 5 run, if both Capella and Bruno are out, it's going to help his ceiling, but he would be firmly in play. I'd still like Bog. I know he's been really, really bad with Trae Young out, but it's going to keep the ownership down. I still think he'd be a good play. And then guy I was really, really high on last slate who I played was Saddiq Bey. I think he'd be way too cheap if Trae Young's out. So I would like Saddiq Bey quite a bit. And then if Capella's in, Okongwu, Capella, they'll play alongside each other some. So I think, Okongwu would still be a solid value. I'd prefer Okongwu to Capella. And then, like I said, if Capella's out, Okongwu becomes the best value play on the slate. And then if Bruno plays, he'll get some backup 5. He'll be in play. Patty Mills has just turned into the Olympic legend that he was. But, yeah, not doing it. Moving on to Phoenix, good spot here, pace-up spot as well. I think Kevin Durant, probably my favorite of this grouping. I think he looks like a pretty solid play at 9.2K, probably be low-owned as well. I just love the spot here for Kevin Durant. Booker's fine too. Beal firmly in play as well. They're just playing their main guys huge minutes right now, and we know where the offense is coming from. So, all 3 of the main Suns guys firmly in play here. Yusuf Nurkic's minutes have not been great. The guy's always in foul trouble as well. More of just a GPP only play for me. But if you get a game where he does get extended and plays his normal minutes, then he'll probably crush this price point. Eric Gordon, not news is not really too important there. If he plays, I actually do think he's a solid value just because he should play low to mid 20s minutes, and we don't have a ton of value on the slate pending news. So, like, yeah, I'm fine with Eric Gordon if he plays. I don't know if I go to anyone else here, though. All right, moving on to the Pacers. I believe Halliburton's already out. Yeah, he'll be reevaluated on Saturday. So, Pascal Siakam going to be their go-to guy. Good to see he had a big game tonight up against not against my Sixers, but good to see he finally had a big game tonight on his new team. He'll be their go-to guy. I think he should be an 8K player with the team to himself. So Siakam would be a solid play. He'll stuff the stat sheet. Went for a triple-double tonight. Crazy. Good rebounder. He'll do everything for this team. So, yeah, he's really the only guy that I trust on this team outside of him and the guards. Like TJ and Nembhard, they're pretty safe. They'll kind of split the point guard duties. Right now, I do think I give the edge to Nembhard, but both firmly in play. Buddy Hield, I believe, got his minutes trolled tonight, plus the blowout. Neesmith, you can go to like a Neesmith, Mathurin. I'm not going to mess with this headache, but, Neesmith probably safer between the two, and Mathurin would be your ceiling play between the two, but I don't think I'm going to mess with the wings on this slate for me. Good spot here for Houston. I think Sengun looks phenomenal at sub 9K in a really, really good spot going up against Charlotte. I absolutely love him here. His rates are up as well. Like, they're running just so much offense through him right now. Like, his potentials are up. His rebounding's been really, really good, which, like, prior in the season, like, it's been up and down, but, like, of late, it's been really, really solid. I think he should be able to feast here going up against, like, Nick Richards, P.J. Washington, those types. So I think Sengun's a really, really good play here. I think Fred VanVleet's a really good play as well. 41 minutes in regulation last game. Another guy that's stuffing his stat sheet. It's basically give the ball to Sengun, let Fred VanVleet facilitate, and get out of the way. So, like, I think both the top two guys here for Houston look great. Jalen Green with everyone back, Dylan Brooks back. Minutes could be a bit more in question, but does have a ceiling if he's hitting his shots. Just tournament only for me. And I do like Jabari Smith once again. We know with Tari Eason out, he is going to play all the minutes he can handle as long as he doesn't get benched. Good rebounder. I think he's too cheap, so I think, this Rockets team does look good. Dylan Brooks, he'll also play, anywhere from like 30 to 35 minutes. He's fine at 5K. I don't know if I go to anyone else here with, Jabari back. Jeff Green's probably out of play. So, yeah, let's move on to Charlotte here. So, not the best of spots here, but we still have Hayward, Mark, and I don't think Lowry will be here. February 8th. Okay. Interesting. All right, so sub 10K LaMelo. I mean, I think he's still too cheap here. Not my favorite spend up on the slate, but I think he's pretty good play. In this like 9 to 10K range, he'd probably be my favorite. I think my overall favorites are like SGA, Luka, possibly Giannis, but LaMelo is definitely right up there with those guys. So, triple double upside. Doing everything for this team ever since Terry Rozier got traded. He's going to get a usage bump as well. Also playing big minutes too. So, do like LaMelo there, and I think Miles Bridges and Brandon Miller are both solid as well. Brandon Miller has just been phenomenal of late, also playing huge minutes, and he's been doing a lot more offensively than what he was doing earlier in the year. So I have no issue with Miles or Brandon Miller. Nick Richards, I think, is pretty good. The only issue here with Nick Richards is you have a really good center play on Orlando that I'll talk about in a minute. But other than that, I think Nick Richards is too cheap. Should play, high 20s minutes. Good point per minute guy, so I have no issue there. I'm not going to play PJ. Cody Martin's playable. Don't love it though, but fine. And yeah, let's move on to the Clippers. Not a good, actually, it is a good spot with this new Toronto team. So I don't mind all the Clippers. Kawhi, Paul George, James Harden. I always get them wrong. Given the matchup, I think I don't know. I don't really have too many leans here. I think they're all firmly in play. I would say the price points they look right for these guys. So no standouts here, but they're always in play. Now it's going to be interesting to see what both teams do here because Toronto has closed small at times. Like they did close with Precious Achiuwa last game, but games prior they have done small ball lineups with Bruce Browns. Like we'll see what both teams want to do here. I do think there's a potential that both of these teams do go small ball at some point. So I'm really intrigued here. So a guy that if you think this team does go small ball, a guy you want to look to here is going to be Russell Westbrook. So like if they go small ball, he could push 25 to 30 minutes, and we know he's a really good point per minute guy that's going to do a lot of ball handling stuff in his stat sheet. Like, if you think they go small, he could cross this price point. So, like, I'm intrigued by Westbrook. I think Powell, now that the prices come down, is a decent value. You know, he has a ceiling. He's gonna chuck when he's out there and should play mid-20s minutes. So, yeah, I like Powell for value. Man's playable. And then Plumlee, Dice. I mean, you know, given the matchup, if Toronto does go small, you know, it could hurt one of the bigs. But I think normally Plumlee will probably play around 20 minutes. He's good fantasy producer, which makes him a decent value play here once again. I definitely prefer Plumlee to Daniel Tice here. And then if they split, then, you know, I obviously really like Plumlee if he's going to get north of 20 minutes here. Moving on to Toronto, so we have quickly out. I think there's a good amount to like here. I'm expecting Dennis Schroeder to move into the starting lineup. If that's the case, I absolutely love Dennis Schroeder. He's one of the best mid-range plays on the slate. Gary Trent's going to get an uptick in usage. He's going to have to shoot the ball a bit more. I think he's a decent value, but the floor is very, very low there. Might see an uptick for Bruce Brown, especially if they do close small here. If both teams do close small, more of a tournament-only play for me. Just large field, you know, minutes haven't been great ever since coming to Toronto, but I guess we could see an uptick here, especially if they go small. And then Scotty Barnes, I mean, he's going to have to do everything. It's just not a good spot here, but he's going to play huge minutes. Just no quickly. He legit has the team to himself here. I will say, though, when Scotty kind of is in this spot, when he has the team to himself, he has disappointed, but I'm not going to make a decision on plugging someone in my lineup. I never look at past games, but thought I mentioned that. And then RJ Barrett's been playing extremely well. He's also going to have to play huge minutes. Scotty are going to have to do everything for this team. It's like, I like Scotty. I like RJ. I love Dennis Schroeder. I think Gary Trent's fine. Keep an eye on who they start here. Jonte Porter didn't start the second half. I don't know if he got hurt or something, but Precious did start the. Have I been saying Precious? I am so sorry. Thad Young started the second half last game. They actually closed with him as well. So keep an eye on the starting lineup there. Whoever starts is fine. If they start Thad, I would feel a lot more comfortable in Thad's minutes. But yeah, keep an eye on that. I am so sorry if I was saying Precious before that. Holy crap. Good spot here for Orlando. I think Paolo a bit too cheap at 8.3K, so like me some Paolo here. And the guy that really stands out to me is Wannacard Jr. They're giving him a ton of minutes right now. We know he's north of a fantasy point per minute guy. I like the spot going up against Memphis. Good rebounder, can get defensive stats. I think he looks very, very good. What else? Markel Fultz minutes have been upticking of late. If I knew he got 30 minutes again, I'd like him quite a bit. You know, just tournament play. Probably closing a blowout here. Let me just double check if all these starters got run as well. I should have looked at this before. Apologies, guys. Okay. Looks like all the starters, including Fultz, got run into the blowout. All right, so yeah, I like me some Markel Fultz at 5K. Suggs just there for me. I think I prefer Markel Fultz, and then Cole Anthony's minutes have been ticking down of late. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to play Okiki, and yeah, Mo has been basically phased out, so can't go there. What else? I think that's it. Let's move on to Memphis. So important news here. We got to keep an eye on Aldama. So if Aldama plays, I really like him. If I put 1K, assuming he stays into the starting lineup. If he's out, I would assume David Roddy moves into the starting lineup again. If he does start, he would be one of the better value plays on the slate. Contrar's been starting. I think he's a decent value. What else? If Aldama's out, I think G.G. Jackson is intriguing for GPPs. Luke Kennard's back. He's still too cheap at 5.5K. I like him quite a bit. Vince Williams has been very, very good for this team of late. Also playing close to 40 minutes a game, stuffing the stat sheet, getting a ton of blocks, getting a ton of steals. I think he's decent. And then we all know Jaren's ceiling. I always like him for tournaments, especially if they're going to continue to start him at the 5. If Aldama's out, you can consider like a Zaire, but I don't think I'll go there. Also, Scottie Pippen just absolutely nuked last late when I played Gilliard. Yeah. All right, OKC at Pelicans, not a good spot here. Not a good spot for both sides. Like SG, I think is a good spend up. I think he's a bit too cheap. Matchup definitely a bit tough, but yeah, I think SGA is solid there at the top. Chet just there for me. Jalen's just there for me. I'm not going to touch this value. Pelicans, bad spot here. Like Zion, Ingram, CJ, they're all just there for me. Kind of like when all the Chicago guys are healthy. I will say, like, the price points do seem maybe a little bit too cheap besides CJ. It's like I have interest in Zion and Ingram for tournaments. Jonas, Nance, they're splitting the center minutes. I actually do think Nance is a pretty solid value. She'll play around 20 minutes. Another good point per minute guy. So I do like Nance. I don't know if I get it to anyone else there. Let's move on to the last game of the night. So I believe we had these teams play the other night, and it was an absolute, I want to say shootout. I believe Giannis just nuked. But Donovan Mitchell, I'm always going to love Donovan Mitchell when he has the team to himself. He just has an insane usage rate. Going up against the Bucks have not been great against opposing point guards. Now we'll see what their new, is Doc Rivers going to be coaching this game, or is it going to be the interim head coach? I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see what the coaches do here. But yeah, defense against guards has not been great here. So I love Donovan Mitchell. I think Jared Allen's solid too. The running offense through him. He's playing 40 minutes in competitive games, but he can stay out of foul trouble. I do believe this game blew out. They did lose some minutes at the end there, I'm pretty sure, because they took Jared Allen over points. I feel like he got pulled early. We do have LeVert back, so that's going to hurt Merrill. Merrill's out of play for me. I'm not going to play Niang. I do think Okoro is playable at that price point, and then I like LeVert's ceiling in GPPs. Milwaukee, so Giannis, really, really good spend up if you can afford him. He's up there. Luka, Giannis, 1A, 1B for me. Love, love, love Giannis here. Dame, just unbelievable stuff that he is a starter in the All-Star game this year. Jalen Brunson got snubbed. Who else? Donovan Mitchell got absolutely snubbed. Tyrese Maxey got snubbed only because I'm biased Sixers fan, but Jalen Brunson, just the biggest snub ever. But Dame priced right in my opinion. I don't know why Middleton's price keeps coming down. So yeah, sign me up for a 6.3K Middleton. He looks great. I don't think I go to anyone else here though. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for the video. I hope you guys have a great night tonight, and I will talk to y'all in the next one.